There is something you keep reaching for. Maybe you know exactly what it is. Maybe it's something you've tried to stop reaching for many times. The drink that becomes more than you intended. The relationship you know isn't right, and yet the food, the scrolling, the spending, the person you keep messaging, the reaching that has a quality of urgency to it, of needing, of something that feels in the moment like necessity. I want to tell you something about that reaching, something that changes everything. You are never addicted to the thing, not to the drink, not to the relationship, not to the behavior. You are addicted to the relief from yourself. And that single, precise distinction is the beginning of understanding something that most approaches to addiction and craving never quite reach. Today, we go there. On the Hawkins Map of Consciousness, there are 5 frequencies that sit below the threshold of courage. Shame at 20, the floor of human consciousness. Guilt at 30, the frequency of absorbed wrongness. Apathy at 50, the grey place of complete depletion. And grief at 75, the ache of what was lost and never given. And fear at 100, the nervous system braced against a world it learned was dangerous. And at 125, desire. Desire sits above all of them. It reaches outward, it moves, it wants. It has an aliveness that nothing below it possesses. And Hawkins is precise about what that wanting does. The emotion, craving, the process, enslavement. Not words that suggest freedom or relief. Words that describe a trap. A beautiful, compelling, irresistible trap. Imagine carrying shame at 20, the bone-deep belief that you are fundamentally wrong. Above it, guilt at 30, absorbed wrongness that was never yours to carry. And above that, apathy at 50, a system that has forgotten what fall felt like. And above that, grief at 75, the unnamed, unwitnessed ache of what was never given. And above that, fear at 100, the nervous system permanently braced, never quite at rest. Now imagine carrying all of that, layer upon layer, year upon year, unprocessed and uncleared. A density so profound it has become the atmosphere of your inner life, your inner world. And then at 125, desire. Desire is 6 times higher than shame. And when you are drowning in the weight of the basement, desire feels like surfacing. It feels like air, like being alive, like the first warmth in a body that has been cold for years. Of course the system reaches for it. Of course it does. This is not weakness. This is not lack of willpower. And this is not a character flaw or a moral failing. This is consciousness doing precisely what consciousness does. Seeking relief from unbearable density. Hawkins described this with extraordinary precision. The permanent high state experience, the genuine aliveness, can be reached temporarily by artificial means, but the balance of nature dictates that to acquire that state without earning it creates a debt, and the cost of that borrowed pleasure is the desperation of addiction. The reaching does deliver relief, temporarily, genuinely. This is important to acknowledge. The drink really does lift the frequency from shame for a short time. The relationship really does provide warmth that the grief frequency body has been starving for. The compulsive behavior really does create a short-term spike in aliveness. The problem is not that the grief isn't real. The problem is what happens next. Because desire at 125 cannot clear the density at 20, 30, 50, 75 and 100. It can temporarily mask it. It cannot dissolve it. When the effect wears off, the density is still there, unchanged, uncleared, waiting. And now with the added weight of shame about the reaching itself, the shame of, I did it again, the guilt of, I promised I wouldn't, the fear of, I can't control this. The very frequencies that drove the reaching are deepened by it. The pressure builds. The next reaching comes sooner. The relief it provides grows shorter, and the enslavement, Hawkins' word used deliberately, deepens. This is the trap. The frequency that looks like relief is the one that tightens the chains, and no amount of willpower changes this, because willpower operates at the level of the conscious mind. The density that drives the craving lives in the energy body, the emotional body, in the subconscious, in the nervous system. Applying willpower to an addictive pattern is like trying to stop a river with your hands. You can hold it for a while, but the river is still there, still pressing. And this is why people can be completely committed to change, intelligent, motivated, genuinely wanting something different, and still find themselves reaching again and again. Not because they are weak, because they are attempting to solve a frequency problem with a conscious mind tool. When a person reaches for the drink, they are not reaching for alcohol. When a person reaches for the unavailable relationship, they are not reaching for that person. They are reaching for a state of consciousness, specifically the state of consciousness that the density beneath them has made it impossible to inhabit naturally. They are reaching for ease, for warmth, for aliveness, for relief, for a moment's respite from the weight of shame and grief and fear. They are reaching in the most fundamental sense for the frequency of love. And here is what Hawkins understood that changes everything. The wanting is not a delusion. It is a legitimate, accurate, profound recognition of what life is supposed to feel like. The tragedy is not the wanting, the tragedy is that desire at 125 hertz cannot get there. Only the clearing of the density can. The Heart Awakening Revolution Therapy, HART for short, was designed specifically for this, not to address the desire directly, not to suppress the craving or strengthen resistance to it, that would never work, but to go beneath it, to the shame at 20 that has been sitting in the energy body for years, to the guilt at 30 that was absorbed and never belonged there, to the apathy at 50, the exhausted depletion of the system, and to the grief at 75, the ache, the reaching was always trying to soothe, to the fear at 100, that braced nervous system seeking any relief from its own hyper-activation, working directly with the superconscious at the energetic and cellular level. HART gives precise instructions to locate, identify and release the specific density beneath the desire, layer by layer, with full respect of the person's system, with the guidance of spirit at the foundation of everything. And what people describe as this clearing deepens is not the absence of desire. Desire is human. It is a part of being alive. What shifts is the quality of the desire. The compulsive relief-seeking, density-driven reaching softens. The urgency, the sense that the reaching is necessary for survival, lifts. And what remains is something quieter and more real. On the Hawkins scale, above the threshold of courage, above neutrality, willingness, acceptance, sits love at 500 hertz. At 500 hertz, desire and love become the same thing, no longer craving for relief from the self, but the full-hearted reaching toward what is real and nourishing and truly wanted, not compelled, but freely, wholeheartedly drawn. This is what the Heart Awakening Revolution is building toward, not the absence of desire, the liberation of it. If you have been reaching, if there is something you keep returning to that you know in the clearest part of yourself is not really what you want, I want to say this to you directly. The reaching makes complete sense. It was always intelligent. It was always the system doing the only thing it knew how to do, seeking relief from an internal pressure that no one had shown it another way to address. You are not broken and you are not weak. You are someone carrying a density that has never been properly cleared, and that density has been driving the reaching, not your character. The thing you have been reaching for, beneath all the forms the reaching has taken, is the frequency of love, the aliveness, the warmth, the ease, the peace, the sense of being fully present in your own life. This is not out of reach. This is what you were born at, and it is your birthright. And HART is the process that clears that path back to it. The link to work with me is below. And if this video has named the reaching in someone you love, share it with them. Thank you for being here. With love.